Okay, so simple vinaigrette bowl, glass, stainless steel, plastic, a balloon whisk or a piano whisk, it's pliable. French whisk is much stiffer, so that's meant to stir thick things like maybe a roux or a thick sauce. So this is a balloon whisk, we want to incorporate it. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to add shallot and garlic. So I'm going to first wash my hands. Always sanitation. You know, I was reading a study that was put out, I think, by Harvard 2 days ago, and they said there's no difference whether if you use hot water or cold water, as long as you use soap and water, wash 20 seconds, but there was no distinct difference if you used hot water or cold water. So just FYI, if you want to save some energy as well. Okay, so the shallot, what we're going to do is we're going to mince the shallot. You see how I'm curling my fingers? Basic knife skills. Of course, a very sharp knife. Of course, then we're going to smash the fresh garlic. We're going to, you can mince it, but in this case, I don't mind if it's chopped. So it's going to be a little larger, but not too much larger. Voila. My bowl, and the shallot, same thing. Small dice. What is a shallot? It's in what family?
Onion.
Onion family. And the garlic, what family is that? Onion. So here we're gonna have small dice. Like this, beautiful. So that's half a shallot and one garlic clove, like this. Then you can add more or less, you know, a little more, a little less, it's up to you. Clean towel, wipe. You know, I've got some chives here too, why not? A little color, added flavor. So I'm repurposing these chives that we used the other day for our bistro. I love repurposing food if we can. So that's why it's important when storing leftover ingredients, or as we would say in the industry, excess ingredients, is to carefully and properly wrap things. Store them away so we can use them another day for another event, and that helps you as a business person save money. Voila. Okay, so here I'm using a vegetable oil, a canola oil, but of course we can use olive oil. We have some different vinegars there: tarragon vinegar, pomegranate vinegar, white wine vinegar, red wine vinegar, whatever vinegar. If we don't have vinegar, we can use wine, or say we just had white vinegar. Maybe some leftover wine from a table, whatnot, and just white vinegar together? No. So this is what the honey and mustard is going to do. It's going to help with that. And of course we've got salt and pepper. And in here, I've got a little wine vinegar, and your typical vinegars, 5% acidity, some go, you know, maybe 7, 8, a little higher. So I've added a little water just to take some of that bitterness away, or acidity away a little. So not much, just a little bit. And of course my oil. So I'm going to add my water and vinegar. Put this away. Put this away. Here. Now what I'm going to do is slowly, this is critical. Once all the other ingredients are in there, the shallot, the garlic, the mustard, the honey, the vinegar, the water. Water's optional too. Oil's the last thing that you add, okay? The important thing is slow. I don't want to go too fast. Put all the ingredients down. Slowly pour, slow steady stream. And then we'll get to taste this later. So this is why it's important to have a balloon whisk or a piano whisk, because we're incorporating some air. It's mixing up nicely. We're incorporating all the ingredients. Anybody have any questions?
What difference would it make if you just dump on the oil in it?
Well, it may not, the fat may not absorb all the other ingredients, and it may separate. That's a good question. And I like using speaking of oils, a neutral oil, either canola, vegetable, maybe a grapeseed oil. Grapeseed will be a little more money. Canola, vegetable, a lot less expensive. But I like using a neutral oil, so as we know, olive oil has a distinct flavor, which is not a bad thing. It's just be aware of that. Think of all the other ingredients that you're going to be using. So personally, I like using a neutral oil so it captures the flavor of the shallot and all the other ingredients, the herbs maybe. I could add fresh basil, thyme, oregano, sage, rosemary, dill, cilantro to this. Look at that. And if you think your dressing is a little too thick or your vinaigrette's a little too thick, what could I do? Maybe a little white wine or just water. Just a little water. So I want to loosen this up just a little more, I think. So we'll see what happens here. Here we go. I like that, I think. Maybe a little more. There we go. Perfect. Done. Now, I've got an idea what it tastes like because I understand, we know what garlic and shallots and chives taste like. So what I'm going to do, just use the end of my spoon, or you can use your finger. Just don't double dip. Just going to move this around. Just going to finish it with a little salt, not much. A little pinch or a couple of pinches. And some fresh cracked black pepper. Very nice. It is nice. When you're tasting your vinaigrette, also, some of you may think, okay, you're probably going to think it's bitter, but also consider what when you're making the vinaigrette? Yes. Great. What you're putting it over. The greens. Are they mild greens, bitter greens? What else is in my salad? Tomato, cucumber, croutons maybe, or bread, radishes. Okay, maybe it's a protein. So we know this is a basic vinaigrette, and traditionally we would use this over a salad or with a salad. What else could I use this for, or could we use this for? Could I use this with, say, with a fish? What would I use it, say, over swordfish or grouper? Maybe poultry. Maybe a marinade. So this could maybe be a marinade. Just if you're using it over fish or poultry, just be aware of the acidity. So if it sits on too long, what might happen over the protein? It may compromise that. Maybe make it a little too soft, too mushy. It may crumble. It may affect the color. But this is yum. I think it needs a little more salt, so I'm going to add the rest of it, and a little more pepper, so I'm going to add the rest of that. And I'm just going to stir this up. This is wonderful, and what I'm going to do is just put it in this simple storage mason jar. And if you want, you folks can get a spoon and taste that. But I love using mason jars. We'll get a spoon later. Inexpensive, sanitary, clean, looks cool, and this will keep for a week or so in your fridge. Just when you're taking it out of the fridge and before using it, stir it up or shake it up. Okay, so it's all set to go. Okay. Any questions? So that's what you're going to do. So.